now you can share. Alex, if you have a page you want to share to, you should go to either Claudia's page or the New World Deli page, and you can share from there.
Great. Okay.
It should be there with a slide up saying we'll be right back.
Yeah, just go to my music page. Oh, Alex sent a message.
I just got it on my phone. I'm the admin on the New World Deli page, and I just got a notification that it's live.
It is. They're hearing everything we're saying right now.
Hello, everybody.
All right. Okay, and just make sure the volume on your phone's down all the way.
I got
It'll
it.
let go,
Yeah, I shut it down.
and it's like 20 seconds later. Okay. And we are live from the New World Deli. Welcome, everyone. Hi, guys. This show is called The First Sunday Songwriters. We're here live at the New World Deli, but we're also streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. And we are streaming on Twitter as well. Yeah. So my guest this month is from Houston, and he literally just came in, flat tire and all. Alex Coba from Houston.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Claudia, for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, flat tire and everything. That was a huge pain in the ass. I was like 15 miles out coming in, and the sensor went off on the Jeep, and there's like 10 pounds of pressure left. Damn it.
But I love that there was a tire shop right there.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like-
The songwriting gods saved me.
They did. They knew you were supposed to be here. Well, Alex is a really fine folk Americana songwriter who he's just great. So you're going to enjoy him, and I'm going to have him go first. What have you got up? What are you doing first?
This is a song called Jackie. Jackie lives in Tulsa for only half the week. Filled up with the beehive, her words stinging when she speaks. Some days she's down in Texas, most days she's in between. And I'd love her if she'd let me, but she said love don't mean a thing. And Jackie, I don't feel right. I keep shaking with the sunrise. You used to look at me like the moon was full, now you won't look me in the eyes. And Jackie, I don't feel right. I wonder if you still care. 'Cause every time we were home alone, it's like you were never there. Jackie says that everyone dies a little bit every night. And in the morning they're reborn, hoping today they can get it right. She boasts about the universe and how it treats her right. I can't wait to see the other side, but can't pick sides to save a life. And Jackie, I don't feel right. I keep shaking with the sunrise. You used to look at me like the moon was full, now you won't look me in the eyes. And Jackie, I don't feel right. I wonder if you still care. 'Cause every time we were home alone, it's like you were never there. Now Jackie's back in Texas and her car's in my drive. Said she'd never leave, with leaving always on her mind. But I don't know if she's coming back or if she was ever here. Just a waste of time and all my dimes, it's almost been a year. Jackie, I don't feel right. I keep shaking with the sunrise. Used to look at me like the moon was full, now you won't look me in the eyes. And Jackie, I don't feel right. And I wonder if you still care. 'Cause every time we were home alone, it's like you were never here. And every time I see you lately, it's like you were never here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is a nice tune.
Appreciate it.
And I didn't want to be tuning while you were playing, so. Yeah. Well, it's great to finally have you here because I know we did a virtual show over during lockdown, right?
We did.
And that was one of the first streaming shows we did, and it kind of did it like back and forth because we couldn't figure out how to be both,
Yeah.
on camera, which I figured that out after a while. But I remember it was like there was a problem because your page was set to private or something. So.
I'm terrible at the whole social media thing and self-promotion. So yeah,
Oh.
had a music page that was just set to private the entire time. Like, well, all right. No wonder no one's showing up.
Yeah, no wonder I'm not getting any sound out of my guitar. But let's not. Oh, we got a problem here. I think I have to turn the monitor down on mine. Technical stuff.
Here, let me turn it down. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm on 4. And I'm on 4, and it should say, one of those white knobs says monitor, and I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That sounds good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that seems good. All right. Don't be wanting extra pay for being the sound guy now. Out of our fabulous earnings. If you hear it going wacky, just let me know. I'm going to do a song that's kind of about taking a road trip and restarting. It's called Unbound. Coffee in a paper cup, I swirl around and drink it up. Sunrise shining on my skin. I pull out on the interstate, signaling my change of fate. Unbound, I'm starting out again. 1,600 miles to go. It's just a couple days or so. There's time to contemplate my sins. I'm headed back from where I came, where everybody knows my name. Unbound, I'm ready to begin. Side of town. It needs some hope to stick around. Unbound, and I can't live my life on the ground. We just held each other down. Passing kids who smile and wave. There's billboards, license plates, reminders of the state I'm in. At a truck stop in Ohio, stray dogs running down the road. Unbound and looking for a friend. Smashed out and the shades pulled down. held each other down. Coffee in a paper cup, I swirl it round and drink it up. Tonight, I see my journey's end. I pull out from this interstate, a different kind of road awaits. Unbound, starting out again. Yeah, I'm unbound, ready to begin. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I'm going to move my chair a tad back because I was fighting feedback, and I think I'm just too close to this monitor. Just too darn close.
So when you're swapping songs with someone as talented as Claudia, you forget what you're going to play next because you're just listening to the song. And we met at Swarfa for the very first time. Is that right?
I think it might have been Swarfa, yeah. Were you at Songwriter Serenade too? No, Swarfa. Yeah, it was Swarfa. It all blurs together.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, we had the pleasure of meeting at the Southwest Regional Folk Alliance Conference, and I remember the first time I sat and listened to Claudia play, I was an instant fan.
Oh.
So it's a real pleasure, and thank you for having me at the beginning of the pandemic on your show and having me come out here today.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming out because it's a long ride to Houston.
That's all right.
It sounds like a line from
Yeah, there you go. Write that one down. So I'll play you this next song. I was been a traveling songwriter for a little while now, and I was living with this girl, and I tell this story the same way every time because it's that ridiculous. If you're a songwriter and you have a girlfriend, she lets you live with you, you know, it's a plus because you're not homeless. But sometimes you do silly things like we would argue, and I was on the road for quite a while, and I got home and we were in the middle of one of our famous arguments, and I called her by the wrong name.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't recommend doing that. So I was, just walking around the apartment, just making up this song, trying to make her smile and not kick me out. And I ended up putting it on the record, and I ran into her about a year or so after I put the record out, and this song was on it. And I think she, saw it on YouTube or something, and she just kind of laughed, and she was like, "You're such an idiot." She's like, "Why'd you put that stupid song on the record?" But it's just about being out on the road, and if you travel for work or anything and you have someone at home, it's just a song letting them know, like, I understand, I get what you're going through, but this is just the life that I live. This is called Tell Me. You're the one I met out east in Carolina. Green eyes, a golden heart, and a gypsy soul. Taller than the pines up on the sugar mountain. Sweeter than the waters flowing in the Roanoke. You don't have to tell me that I've been on this road too long. You don't have to tell me I should be home before your memories are gone. Are you the queen that I left high in Colorado, raining over me on top of Castle Peak? Was drowning in your blue eyes there in crystal water. Never thought that I couldn't bring myself to leave. You don't have to tell me that I've been on this road too long. You don't have to tell me I should be home before your memories are gone. When who you are to me gets lost when I'm out living in this in-between. You don't have to tell me, I already know. Don't tell me, I already know. Don't tell me, I already know. Don't tell me. Thank you.
Well, that girl should be grateful because that's a beautiful song.
It helped for a little while. I didn't get kicked out.
Yeah, I don't think that's a dopey song at all. It's beautiful. Well, it's funny where songs come from. I'm in a songwriting group that I signed up for. We go like in semesters, and it's a bunch of online people, and whoever's the professor gets to issue a prompt. We have a semester-long professor, so it's kind of fun. I was the professor one semester recently. It's a lot of work, but anyway, this was one of those weeks when I had a song to write, but I was on the road. I was coming back from, it was a long trip in Florida, Nashville, New Orleans. And I sort of made this unscheduled stop on the way back. I just went off a side road on a whim, and I ended up at this historic plantation that had these very intact, very creepy looking slave cabins. And then a storm came up in the middle of it, and it was just kind of eerie. And I worked it into my prompt for that week, and came up with this song, and it's called Louisiana Sky. 60 miles from nowhere, city lights left behind, just me and the highway in a Louisiana sky. I heard the past come calling like a voice from up high, saying we all once lived here under Louisiana skies. Crossed a bridge over the bayou, sugarcane grows tall and wide, plantation cabins down an old gravel road. There's ghosts in the live oaks telling tales from old souls. Blue beads in their pockets to keep off the evil eye. Couldn't lift them to freedom under Louisiana skies. And on their papers, first names only: Moses, Martha, and a child. Life stories left here in cypress and stone, once flesh and blood, now dust and bone. Clouds darkened and swirled down, lightning crackled and cried. Tears of history were streaming from the Louisiana sky. cabin's empty and dusty, voices still by the time I said my prayer to the nameless in the Louisiana sky. Said you won't be forgotten under Louisiana skies. Thank you. Oh, and you know, the prompt for that was evil eye. I had no idea how to work it in. And then I did like a little Google thing, which I always end up doing when I write a song. And it turns out that in Louisiana, the slaves carried around little blue beads in their pockets. It was like a holdover from African religion, and it was to keep away the evil eye. And then I started reading. There's a lot more in many religions in the world. People have little talismans to keep away the evil eye. So that's how that worked in. So what you got? So do you write songs when you travel, or do you write them mostly at home?
I take notes when I travel. I'm terrible at finishing songs, so I have maybe, I don't know, hundreds of songs that are just ideas and maybe one verse that I'll just get to eventually. I'm not very disciplined when it comes to my songwriting. It's usually just walking around the house and just putting lines together here and there. This is one of those. So, you know, during lockdown, it was not really wanting to write a relationship song, but just started writing something about, you know, missing hanging out with songwriters and being able to do shows, and being the only person in my house. And I don't like hanging out by myself. So this one came out of it. It's called Tired and Lonely. When I wake up in the blue light of the morning, somewhere between my first and second coffee, that's when I start to miss you. I still can't sleep on your side of the bed. When I finally leave the house and go for that afternoon drive, hit the brakes between a yellow and a red light, I'm still reaching for you and praying to God we can make it out alive. And it's times like this I'm tired of being lonely, scared to death, not knowing if you're fine. And whoever he is, he better love you like I would if you were still mine. When the sun starts to set and it glows on your side of the couch, I find myself still looking for that pretty little smile, and I start to break down, not knowing if I'll see it again. And it's times like this I'm tired of being lonely, scared to death, not knowing if you're fine. And whoever he is, he better love you like I would if you were still mine. So I sold that bed and I wrecked that car. I finally put that couch for sale out there in the yard. 'Cause it's times like this I'm tired of being lonely, I'm scared to death, not knowing if you're fine. And whoever he is, he better love you like I would. And yeah, whoever he is, he better love you like I would if you were still mine. Yeah, if you were mine. Yeah, whoever he is, he better love you like I would if you were still mine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is a song. That's a great song. Man. I was tuning while you were playing, but I was listening too. Man, that's like something that some Nashville guy should record for sure, because it's a real classic sounding song, but it's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Really gorgeous. But I like your voice better. So you have a son, Alex.
I do.
How old is your son?
He's 6, going on 21.
Well, my oldest son turned 32 today. And he got married a couple weeks ago. And we were all out in New York on the water in Queens. It was lovely. So.
Congratulations. 32. I don't even know, man. This guy's 6 years old and driving me crazy. I can't even imagine high school years.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the worst part, the only thing I really remember as being very, very bad with all 3 of my kids was teaching them how to drive. That was like really horrible. But other than that, he didn't give me too much trouble, just a few. But anyway, I figured I wanted to say happy birthday to Tyler, because he might be out there. He's out in New York. If he's not watching the Saints game, maybe he's doing both. Or if it's over, who knows? But anyway, this is a true story about being brave and getting married, and buying a house and having kids and doing all those things that I felt like I did, jumping from a high dive into a giant deep lake with no idea of what was going to happen. And it's the title from my first CD. It's called Step by Step. Oh, and by the way, if you're here and you feel so inclined, there's a mailing list over there. And if you write on it, Alex too, I'll make sure he gets your name too, because he was kind of rushing you when he came in. And if you're online, there's something streaming across the bottom that if you feel appreciative of the music, you can give us a tip, and we'll share it. Anyway, this song's called Step by Step. Riding round in your old car and wishing on an evening star, as if wishing made things true. So young, but we were game, a leap of faith to change my name. All we had was me and you. Step by step, brick by brick, line by line, stick by stick, day by day. Baby, yeah, we built it up and made something out of nothing. One by one, two by two, traveling alone and maybe with you, day and night. Baby, gonna build it up and make a lifetime out of something, me and you. Baby, me and you, it's true. Got a job, we both did, made a home and raised our kids. Every phase without a clue. And each time we nearly split, you always raised your game a bit, finding ways to pull us through. Step by step, brick by brick, line by line, stick by stick, day by day. Baby, yeah, we built it up and made something out of nothing. One by one, two by two, traveling alone and maybe with you, day and night. Baby, gonna build it up and make a lifetime out of something, me and you. Baby, me and you. It's true. You said you'd marry me someday. Now we're looking back, I guess you had your way. Step by step, brick by brick, line by line, stick by stick, day by day. Baby, yeah, we built it up and made something out of nothing. One by one, two by two, traveling alone and maybe with you, day and night. Baby, gonna build it up and make a lifetime out of something, me and you. Baby, me and you. Oh. Baby, me and you. Oh, it's true. Thank you. That's for my husband Harlan too.
If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, I want you to bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know I laughed when you left, but I only hurt myself. I want you to bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I give you money and jewelry too. There ain't nothing I wouldn't do. I want you to bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know I'll always be your slave till I'm lying in my grave. I want you to bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving, bring it on home to me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
I hope you don't mind the harmony on that one.
No, I loved it.
I used to play that one long time ago with my sister when first started playing in bars. I think I was about 18, and I just love that tune. Love it. Well, now I've forgotten what to play because I was listening and I was like trying to remember the harmony. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll do this one.
I like to throw in a cover every once in a while.
Oh yeah, there's a few I like too.
It's only a few. I don't remember them. That's why I started writing my own songs.
Well, it's yeah.
I can't remember other people's stuff.
And if you can't remember like your own lyrics, unless you have like, you know, someone who's following you, which would be great, but they're not really gonna know, right?
True. Yeah. Just make it up.
You make it up. But it's a bad feeling. It's always a bad feeling. I remember when I was doing a lot of covers, and my sister, we were doing that song "Angel from Montgomery," and you know, it was like doom doo doo doom, and I couldn't remember the first line, and so we just kept going. And we were playing with a guitar player, bass player, and he's like, "Okay," and I'm like, eh. And then my sister says, "I am an old woman." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
There.
So, anyway, now I'll have that in my head. Anyway, this is a tune I wrote. I was thinking about, you know, there's a lot of immigration's kind of a real hot button topic, and I have another song that's a little more controversial about that. But I was thinking about my grandmother and how she came over more than 100 years ago. Like she's long gone now, but she was born in the 1890s and came over when she was 14 with her. She was an orphan with her sister, and their father had just died, and the stepmother said, "No, I'm not going to raise you. You got to go. You got to go to the New World." And they really viewed this country, as they called it, the Promised Land. It was. She lived in a little tiny village in what's now. Well, it's Russia. No, it's now Belarus, and that's what they thought, you know. And they came here, and it was a lot different. But she learned a trade, and she became a citizen, and she was always very proud of voting. And anyway, this is her story. It's called Promised Land. Papa died the 19th of September. They sent us off 1 month to the day. Me and Lina in a tattered old brown suitcase. Papa's portrait tucked inside the safe. Liverpool steerage class, noses pressed to dirty glass, tossing on the ocean 10 long days. Oh, Lana, sister, take my hand. There's the lady with the torch. Could this be the Promised Land? Oh, Lana, she's reaching out her hand, shining at us from the shore. Welcome to the Promised Land. The Promised Land. Living with our cousins down on Broome Street. The old world life seems so far away. Now I'm 14 and working in a factory, tying ribbons on for 50 cents a day. We light the candles Friday night, and Saturday dawns clear and bright, taking line on the streetcar to the bay. Ooh, Lana, sister, take my hand. There's the lady with the torch, living in the promised land. Oh, Lana, liberty she stands, shining in our newfound home. Welcome to the promised land. The promised land. Tired and poor, orphans at her door, still her light ushered us in. And here we stay, live and work day by day. And now we are American. Ooh, Lana, sister, take my hand. There's the lady with the torch. Could this be the promised land? Ooh, Lana, liberty she stands, shining in our newfound home. Welcome to the promised land. The promised land. The promised land. Thank you. Thanks. Well, this is cool having you here because I love Alex's voice. I love your voice, and I love your guitar playing, and I love your song. So it's so nice to have you like in the flesh. And I don't think we played together in a couple years, right?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We lost
Been a
2
minute.
years
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Somewhere between. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I was talking to another songwriter friend of mine, and we were like, we were just here, weren't we? And then we looked back at the calendars, like that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yeah, because I think probably in the SWRFA conference in Austin 2 years ago. Yeah. And then, the following kind of March, it was like spring break, and it was like, oh, go home all of a sudden. Yeah. I was out in West Texas. Yeah.
Oh, that was the worst. So it was right before South by, and I had all these cool showcases lined up. I'm like, this is the year. It's going to be awesome. Going to do South by, take over the songwriting world. And it's like, go home and practice more by yourself.
Yeah. I had a tour.
Yeah.
I had a tour in the East. Yeah. Like a nice gigs.
But I got to do some writing, some social distance writing during the pandemic. So that was cool. I have a bunch of new songs, and just haven't really decided where to record them and who to produce it yet. So just hanging on. So this is one that I wrote with a great songwriter here in Austin. His name is Brian Douglas Phillips. He's a really talented producer as well. It's called The Game, and I wrote this. I had the idea. I was dating this girl, and of course, you do the back and forth at the end where you don't know if it's the end, and then someone calls it, and then you kind of come back around, and then you get that late night text, and it's the game that you play, and no one really wants to let go. So I would introduce the song, and I would tell the story, and I won't bore you with the whole story, but I had it all worked out, and I was playing this new venue, great stage. It was in Tomball, Texas, and I'm gonna debut this song. I've been doing it at open mics and stuff, and they were selling tables, and I look at the table that's directly in front of the stage, and her parents bought the table right there. So I had to just completely on the fly come up with an entirely different story about how I came up with this song. It was the worst. It was called The Game. That time when you thought that I was sleeping, I heard you tell your mother on the phone that I can never give you what you needed, and maybe you'd be better off alone. Maybe I forgot about your birthday, I got a little lost on my way home. And maybe I don't ever say the right things, maybe I don't listen, 'cause I already know if I'm everything you say I am, if your bags are packed and waiting by the door, if the game is really over, then why are we keeping score? Why are we keeping score? I don't want to hear that it needs fixing. You don't want to hear me stumbling. At 2 a.m. I'm too gone to remember. Oh, I bet you won't let me forget. If I'm everything you say I am, if your bags are packed and waiting by the door, if the game is really over, then why are we keeping score? Why are we keeping score? If I'm everything you say I am, if your bags are packed and waiting by the door, if the game is really over, then why are we keeping score? Yeah, why are we keeping score? Yeah, why are we keeping score? Why?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is beautiful. Well, I didn't want to be the one tuning during your song, so I'll do it now. Well, I've been married a long time, so when you do a relationship song, I remember doing one and playing it for a music publisher who knew that I've been married a long time, and he's like, "Well, how does your husband feel about that song?" I was like, "What a question!" I'm like, "He's happy I'm writing." But it's funny because then you get to a certain point and you can just kind of go by experience. Like you can take a little grain of something and then make up things. and
I know. That's why I'm terrified of being in a healthy relationship eventually, sometime.
Yeah, right. You'll have
I'll lose all the material.
no more fodder, huh? No more fodder.
That's it.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was younger, I used to write a lot of like, oh my God, things are bad, relationship songs. And now I just, I can make it up. It can be good or bad. But I find myself writing about different things now, so who knows?
One of my favorite songwriters, B.J. Barham, he did an interview and they asked him, why he writes such sad songs. And he just said, the Beatles wrote all the happy songs. That's it. So just stick to the sad ones.
I was thinking that the other day because I was listening to like 8 days a week or something. I was like, wow, these are great songs. Like but they came up like, in the late 50s, early 60s, they were playing like all that happy skiffle stuff. So they were used to that, and I came of age and it was tortured singer-songwriters and were my idols. So who knows? Well, anyway, I'm going to do a song that I wrote. It was kind of the subject matter wasn't upbeat, but when I recorded it on my first CD, we did it with a band, and I had the guys from the band of Heathens. I had Gordy Quist producing it, and we did this song really upbeat. And then during a pandemic, I started just kind of messing with it, and I'm like slowing it down, and it had a whole different meaning. The song's called End of Days, and I wrote it. I started it a few years ago when there was a hurricane at the same time that the Bastrop fires were going on. And then I finished it right after we had a real bad flood in Wimberley in 2015. But then this past couple of years, past 18 months, 19 months, 20 months, how many months? It had a whole new meaning. This is End of Days. Hurricanes, wildfires, seems like Mother Nature's running wild. Is this the end of days? It seems like the end of days. River floods, house is gone, left in mud just to carry on. Is it the end of days? It feels like the end of days. Preacher says, brother, you need religion. Get down on your knees and seek a vision. Wind blowing in like it's Judgment Day. Maybe this world is gonna wash away. 2 by 2 was his plan. 40 days till they hit the land. Was it the end of days? Feel like the end of days. Rainbow sky, journey's end. Send them out just to start again. Was it the end of days? It was not the end of days. Forget waiting, sister, for your deliverance. Just making a move can make a difference. No use worrying about the Judgment Day. All of these fears are gonna fade away. Oh, and I can't wait, baby, one more minute. I got to live this life and all that's in it, 'cause time keeps ticking to the Judgment Day. I don't want these years just to waste away. Are we lost, me and you? Where is love? Will we make it through? Is this our end of days? Is this our end of days? Is it our end of Thank you.
So it's funny that you brought up the hurricane and the floods and all that. I moved to Houston about 8 years ago now, and just in time to experience Houston, the tax day floods, and then
Got a lot of floods in Houston.
a lot of floods. Yeah, so it's been like 3 floods, and then Hurricane Harvey decided to show up and not leave for a while, so more flooding. So I just had my son, and we were in my house, and the water was coming all the way up to the door, and then it would go away, and it would come back and go away, and power's in and out, and he's brand new, and we were just kind of sitting around, and I had this idea for the song, and it's not so much a relationship song, but we saw that flood from the first few drizzles till it got real heavy, and then just kind of held on as long as we could, and ended up being without power and stuff for a few days. But yeah, it was just me and him hanging out. So
man, did you think about okay, we need a little boat now, we need to row away?
we were landlocked for a few days. I mean, you couldn't get to any major highway, so we just kind of had to ride it out. But,
that's scary for the little one. Yeah,
got a song out of it. So it's called The Flood. I remember, it's fresh on my mind, the kind of storm that could hit you in a moment, change your life. How could we ever have seen it coming? I said, don't worry, take my hand and we can make it out alive. 'Cause I will be here when the clouds clear in the morning. I will hold you as the water starts to rise. I could feel it, the flood coming. Your love rushing over me like a wild river. Fireworks and lightning were ringing in the new year. Still that sky went dark and the world seemed to disappear. You were the only light before me, the kind of beacon I needed to help me weather the storm. I will be here when the clouds clear in the morning. I will hold you as the water starts to rise. I could feel it, the flood coming. Your love rushing over me like a wild river. When the water breaks the levee and it's too high to go alone, pull me in and hold me close. We can always make it out when the water comes rushing in. There's no one else in the world I'd rather be swept away with. I could feel it, the flood coming. Your love rushing over me like a wild river. Your love rushing over me like a wild river. Thank you.
That's beautiful. From a bad situation, you got a pretty song. So that's a win, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do a song that it just reminded me of that. First, I'm gonna tune. So we appreciate those of you who are listening, our little but attentive audience here. Thank you, guys, and online too. Thank you all for watching. Victor, Harlan, all you peoples out there, thank you so much. This is a song that I kind of got this phrase in my head when I went to probably about 10 years ago. I went to a show at the old Cheatham Street, and it was a great songwriting circle with James McMurtry and Hal Ketchum and Bruce Robinson and Todd Snyder. It was amazing, and they were all just song swapping because they'd all started there when they were, in college or around there. And at one point, Bruce Robinson just said, kind of out of nowhere, he goes, it's just not my world anymore. Like it used to be, but it's just not anymore. And you get that feeling sometimes when you're getting older that maybe it isn't. So that phrase just kind of stuck in my head, and I ended up writing this song called "The Days." Looking back on those early days, memories of warm. You know what? I haven't done this song in a really long time. I knew there would be one today, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have one today. I feel.
Oh
it.
yeah, there's always one. I give that nice setup, and yeah, it's great. Got my nails in good shape. Okay, let's try again. Now I remember it. It's called "The Days." So you can cut it, Robert.
Right, you're editing this, right?
Yeah,
right.
this song is called "The Days." Looking back on those early days, memories as warm as the nights of June and July, the summer haze, county roads, cityscapes. We laughed till we nearly cried and loved so hard I thought that we would break. It was our world, it was our time. Made all our plans to leave the home behind. Those were our days. Those were our days. Maybe it's not my world anymore. It's burning like a house on fire. I can't tell what all this hurry-up's for, but the truth still resonates. The spark in my lover's eye, clear blue skies and what feels like fate. 'Cause this is the world, these are the times. Taking what's best, I'll leave the rest behind. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days. These are the days. 'cause it's a new world and these are new times. We made some new plans to leave the old behind. These are the days. These are days. These are the days. These are the days. The days. The days. Thank you. Thanks for letting me start that one over again.
It's all right. I'm going to ask you to let me start one over before the day is done.
See, now I've cursed you. Now I've cursed you.
So I was trying to figure out what to play next, but I saw your little Johnny Cash tin there. Is that for your picks?
I got this at the Johnny Cash Museum in Nashville. I couldn't afford anything else in the store except the pick box. It came with a pick that says Johnny Cash on it, so it's pretty cool.
I'm a big Johnny Cash fan and Carter Family fan too. And I read, a few of the books and just whatever I could find online. And when Walk the Line came out, that movie, I was just, I own it. I think I've seen it about 100 times. But I was just really, shocked about the amount of crap he put June through, right? And then, completely changing his life around to have a shot to be with this person that he knew that he needed to be with. Man, that was pretty special. So I wrote the song about their relationship a little bit. It's called Tennessee Queen. Johnny said, June, I can be your one and only. If you would be my Tennessee queen, I'll quit going down to Memphis, stop drinking with that boy they call the king. They might say we're crazy, and heaven knows that it might be true. But if it takes forever, I swear I'm gonna marry you. I found some light that was buried down deep inside of me when I found faith in prayer instead of amphetamines. And I live every day to be that man you know that I can be, if you say you'll be my Tennessee queen. Well, June said, John, I can be your one and only. If you promise you can be my man, like a rock that stands out on that raging water. I need your strength more than that man in black. You might think I'm crazy, Lord, I know it's true. That if it takes forever, I swear I'm gonna marry you. Found some light that was buried down deep inside of me when I found faith in prayer instead of amphetamines. And I live every day to be that man you know that I can be. If you say you'll be my Tennessee queen. I found some light that was buried down deep inside of me. When I found faith in prayer instead of amphetamines. And I live every day to be that man you know that I can be. If you say you'll be, if you say you'll be my Tennessee queen. Thank you.
I like that one. I think Johnny would have liked that one too.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
Yeah, I mean,
You
we
want
have.
water?
I'd like a little more water. Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Just plain. Thank you. And sometimes we take a break, but you know, I kind of feel like we shouldn't take a break today. So Alex is fetching drinks, and I'm gonna play a newish song. So Alex and I are kind of in the same boat about like been writing songs, getting ready to record, and it's which is always, you know, there's a lot of decisions to make. Who produces it? Do you put out one at a time? Anyway, but that aside, I've been carrying this song around in my head, the idea of this song, for about over 10 years. When I first heard the story of this woman named Laura Bullion, who was a Old West outlaw. She rode with the Wild Bunch, and she was a really good horsewoman, and she just wasn't like the girlfriend, although she was a couple times. But then she kind of, after she gave that up and they were all gone, she lived out this very quiet life in Memphis as a seamstress, and she died in 1962. And I think about like the beginning of her life, the first, 30 years, as opposed to, what she saw after all that ended. Anyway, this is called Laura's Song. Daughter of an outlaw, and I led an outlaw's life. From Abilene to Cody, across the great divide. True love was my treasure, though I never was a wife. But I will tell my story now to you. Mama barely raised me, then she left me with her kin. And they did the best they could to keep a restless child from sin. Bound for San Antonio, the red lights reeled me in. And I was no one's angel anymore. Fanny Porter schooled me in the ways of pleasing men. I took up with Will Carver of Blackjack Ketchum's gang. He shot down in Sonora, then I fell for Blue-Eyed Ben. Yeah, I was the tall Texas girl. Running with the Wild Bunch, we robbed the banks and trains, and I would hold the horses till we made our getaway. We hit the Great Northern and the boys blew up the safe. $60,000 was the take. July to November of '01 was quite the time. Montana down a Little Rock on the run, living high. It ended in St. Louis where we both were caught and tried. They gave me 5, but Ben got 15 years. Well, after good behavior, 7 more years did I pine. I walked a straight and narrow path while Ben did his hard time. Letters sent from prison, he said, dearest, do not cry, 'cause I will make this up to you, I swear. Well, Ben had good intentions, but his outlaw ways ran deep. The promise of an honest life was one he could not keep. 'Cause 9 months after exiting that penitentiary, Ben died near Dryden, robbing the number 9 tree. Daughter of an outlaw, and I led an outlaw life. But 50 years have passed, now I'm the last one of their kind. My secrets will die with me, and my name will fade with time. It's Laura, the tall Texan's girl. Laura, the tall Texan's girl. Thank you. So, Alex, I got the forgetting the lyrics one on that one. Ooh, thank you so much. So you don't have to anymore. Yeah, I got it out of the way. It was very host-like of me to do that, don't you think? Yes. There's a lot of lyrics in that song, and I wrote it a couple months ago, and I just played it, and then I memorized it. But it's funny how those things work, because when you have songs with lots of lyrics, unless you play them a lot, they tend to flit away or something.
So I'll share this one with you. I'm originally from the Rio Grande Valley, and if you don't know where that is, it's right before you get to the Mexico border. And I was raised in a farming family. Both sides of my family either farmed and harvested, or they drove the trucks during harvest season. And this was just a song that I wanted to write about what a morning would look like for my grandparents during harvest season. And I had an uncle of mine share a little bit of wisdom with me that I carried since I was a teenager. I don't even remember why I remember it, but he told me, sometimes when you're a man, when you become a man, we do things just so that it's enough. And I always remembered that he said that. And when I started down this journey of songwriting, I put this one together, and it's just a song for both my grandparents, both sets. Honey, I'm going to try and sell a load of something that I harvested early in the morning before you were up. And I left some coffee warming for you in the pot, 'cause I know you'll need it first thing in the morning when the kids get up. So would you say a little prayer that it yields just enough to be enough? If you don't mind, dear, could I ask you for another day where you keep it all together and pray for clear weather while I'm away? And I know this season has been harder than the one before, but I'll work it even longer to try to one day afford not to have to say a little prayer that it's enough to be enough. Enough to make it through another long winter and try to help my brother out. His farm has been in better days than it's in now. If we can make it to another hot summer, it'll be our Independence Day, when we won't have to worry if the kids will be okay. We'll just say a little prayer and give thanks that it's enough to be enough. I'm headed home now, and every mile marker seems to serve to remind me of all the little prayers you've said over the years, that my truck may make it and I can somehow outrun the storm, and that all this time away from you is worth fighting for. So won't you wear down another couple beads on that rosary for me, and pray that it's enough. Enough to make it through another long winter and try to help my brother out. His farm has been in better days than it's in now. If we can make it to another hot summer, it'll be our Independence Day, when we won't have to worry if the kids will be okay. But just say a little prayer and give thanks that it's enough. We'll say a little prayer and give thanks that it's enough to be enough. We'll say a little prayer and give thanks that it's enough to be enough. Thank you.
Well, you know, we have something in common. My grandfather was a farmer, but he was a farmer way up in almost into Canada, in Chazy, New York, on Lake Champlain. And his first language was French, and so was my father's. And when you grew up in upstate New York in, you know, the 1930s, and you were a little kid, and French was your first language, you were kind of considered not quite, you know, full citizen. And so he got sent off to first school he went to, I guess, was a, you know, Catholic school. And the nun said, so, you know, do any of you speak English? Do you know any English? And my father's like, yes, yes. And so he let loose with all the English he had learned from the farmhands, which was a lot of curses. And the sister said, I see little devils in your mouth. And she took him to the bathroom, washed his mouth out with soap, because people did that back then. Anyway, I don't know why I'm told that story, but it always made me laugh. But I finally got to see Shazy, New York a few years ago. I went with my daughter, and we were spreading my mom's ashes in the Adirondacks, and we went up and we saw where my grandfather had lived, and my cousin Michael, who I saw was watching before from Albany, New York, he said, "Look for the apple trees. Grandpa Thibodeau planted apple trees." So we were driving down, and all of a sudden I remembered him saying that, and I looked over, and there are these old gnarled apple trees. Like right at that moment that I remembered he said that, and there they were. And I was like, wow, I felt very connected. Anyway, this song has nothing to do with any of that. It's called Trouble. I went to church on Sunday to put my sins behind me. When I woke up on Monday, the devil still did find me. I've seen trouble all my days. Seen trouble all my days. Tuesday brought me true love. He swore there was no other. We married on a Wednesday, but he was a faithless lover. I've seen trouble all my days. Seen trouble all my days. I've seen trouble all my days. Seeing trouble all my days. Thursday night I hit the town. The whiskey was flowing. Friday I was busted flat. No one seemed to know me. Woo-hoo. Saturday brought hell to pay. A hole too dark to mention. By Sunday I was on my knees. I was begging for redemption. I see trouble all my days. See trouble all my days. I've seen trouble all my days. Seen trouble all my days. Thursday night I hit the town. The whiskey was flowing. Friday I was busted flat. No one seemed to know me. Ooh, Saturday brought hell to pay. A hole too dark to mention. Sunday I was on my knees. I was begging for redemption. I see trouble all my days. Seeing trouble all my days. I see trouble all my days. Seeing trouble all my days. Thank you. That one I miss a band with. So what you got up, Mr. Coba? Mr. Coba, Mr. Coba. You have your son's friends calling you that, Mr. Coba?
No, not yet.
First time it happened, I felt like I was like, who are they talking to? Mrs. Gibson. And it's like, oh, me.
I'll do another one that I wrote with Brian Douglas Phillips during the pandemic. It's called Only Got Myself to Blame. I love writing with that guy. I mean, I think I never really co-wrote a whole lot, but then stepping away from always being on the road and looking to get with people again and share ideas, we got some really good stuff, and I'm excited. This one will make the next record for sure. Only got myself to blame, like a beggar back out on the street again, like a drowning man who just keeps swimming toward the wave, hoping that the winds are gonna change. Only got myself to blame, stuck out in the desert praying for a little rain, serving 99 to life and still just counting down the days, hoping that the winds are gonna change. I swore I wouldn't let her in, wouldn't go down that road again. I swore I wouldn't drop the guard around my heart, but the walls are crumbling. And I know better, 'cause it always ends the same. Only got myself to blame. Only got myself to blame. She came in spinning out of control like a hurricane. I let her pick me up and just carry me away. She made a mess of everything. I swore I wouldn't let her in, wouldn't go down that road again. I swore I wouldn't drop the guard around my heart, but the walls are crumbling. And I know better, 'cause it always ends the same. I know better, 'cause it always ends the same. I know that I haven't been here before, and you know that I'll come back for more. I never learned to learn from my mistakes. I swore I wouldn't let her in, wouldn't go down that road again. I swore I wouldn't drop the guard around my heart, but the walls are crumbling. I know better, 'cause it always ends the same. I know better, 'cause it always ends the same. Only got myself to blame. Only got myself to blame. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it seemed, and thank you guys for being here. We're a small group today, but thanks for hanging out and watching. And there's a bunch of people online that have been coming and going. I've been watching them. They're making comments. They're saying nice things.
That's good.
There's no one saying, "Oh my God." No. So we appreciate the tips online. There's a little scrolling thing across the bottom. If you were watching us from here, it would kind of be like where the tip jar is here, but it's kind of like going across the bottom. We have a mailing list over there too. So and online, there's alexcoba.com, right? And I'm claudiagibson.com, so it's pretty easy. So I think I'm going to be brave. I've got this tune. Hold on. I was at the Southwest Regional Folk Alliance Conference last weekend, and one of the fun things they do there is when you walk in, usually when you walk in, they hand you a little slip of paper, and it's got a little song prompt on it, and so you're expected that's like on Thursday, and by Sunday you're expected to have a song kind of in between being sleepless and playing in hotel rooms. You ever gone to Swerfa, Robert? Yeah, so it's pretty crazy. Yeah, you're walking in and out of hotel rooms. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can do this because the lyrics are down there. And I just wrote it last weekend, so I'm going to see if it's going to work. And I'm deciding whether it's a keeper. And it's called Battle Cry. Indecision can wait. It's time to get moving. Too much debate. It just makes me lose my mind. So full steam ahead. Damn the torpedoes. Like Crazy Horse said, it's a good day to die. We might end up blanketed in roses, and we might end up smashed against a wall. But sitting doing nothing, well, it only gets you nothing. So take a breath, make the plan to jump instead of fall. Get up out of bed. Hey, now that's something. Just take a first step. Some coffee and food on your plate. The world's in a mess, but don't let that stop you. 'Cause love's an oasis. It's all we can create. Bobbing like a cork out in the ocean. It might be time to catch a wave and fly, 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 and crash to the sand. Get up, make a stand. We are but a moment, blinking up and high. Indecision can't wait, so better get moving. Just stop the debate and shut down that voice of doubt inside. Full steam ahead. Damn the torpedoes. Like Crazy Horse said, it's a good day to die. Yeah, that's what he said. It was his battle cry. So I'm undecided on that one or not, you know. I might keep it, I might tweak it, but
I think you should stay.
pardon? It's called Battle Cry. Because, you know, it had that line, it's a good day to die, and it wasn't like advocating self-harm. It's more like, you know, I've lived my life, here we go, you know. So
This one, do you know Scott Sean White?
I sure do. He's one of my favorite songwriters.
I wrote this song with him. We were in Red River, New Mexico for the Red River Songwriter Festival, and we had made up our minds we were going to try to write something. And I told him, he's like, you got a lot of relationship songs where it's your fault, man. I was like, I know. Can we write one where it's not my fault? So we came up with this one. We were listening to songs the whole way up. We drove to Red River, and we were in a Charlie Robeson, Jack Ingram type of mood. So this one is called Never Told You Not to Leave. You said I never bought you roses, standing there bleeding from the thorns. You said I never threw a party for your birthday while I was sweeping up confetti off the floor. You said I never took you anywhere, stepping off the plane back from Mexico. You said I never wrote you a love song while it was playing on your radio. So when you packed that U-Haul up with 5 years, 8 months, and 3 days of us, didn't help you pack but didn't hold you back, you finally got something right about me, baby. When you said, I never told you not to leave. I gotta admit it kinda hurt, staring at the truth, who would know? But right then I knew there was no pleasing you, so I had to give up and let go. So when you packed that U-Haul up with 5 years, 8 months, and 3 days of us, didn't help you pack but didn't hold you back, you finally got something right about me, baby. When you said, yeah, when you said, I never told you not to leave. So when you packed that U-Haul up with 5 years, 8 months, and 3 days of us, didn't help you pack but didn't hold you back, you finally got something right about me, baby. When you said, yeah, when you said, yeah, when you said, yeah, when you said, I never told you not to leave. Thank you.
Scott Shawn White seems like just such a nice, sensitive guy, and then he gets you to write a song like that.
He definitely knows how to bring it out.
Yeah, you have similar. I can see you have similar styles, so that he's one of my favorite songwriters. Should check him out. We were supposed to do stuff together, and then always something came up, like, oh, this thing came up in Nashville. I was like, oh, you mean you're not gonna come do my online thing?
No, he really is a great writer. Super busy,
Yeah.
and he recently had Mr. Cody Johnson record one of his songs. So he's got a major label cut now. So congratulations, Scott.
I guess he won't be talking to us anymore.
I know, right?
Well, I'm going to do a song that it's one of my favorites, even though it's my own song. But Terry Clines always says, you should always play that song, because this particular song, it's a sad song, and I have a bunch of kind of sad songs about sad situations. And I'm like, maybe it's too sad. And Terry says, you should always play that song, in his very Boston, non-lawyerly way. But I love Terry. He's a great songwriter too. Anyway, this song is called Cleveland, Ohio, and it doesn't really have a lot to do with Cleveland, except it's where the song starts, at a park in Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio, it's 10 a.m. Thursday. Checked out of my motel and I went for a walk. The lakefront is quiet except for men fishing. They stand on the dockside, cast their lines out and talk. How am I living without you? How can I be in this world on my own? Did you really think I would doubt you? Did you really leave? Did you really leave me alone? Youngstown, Ohio, the state line by lunchtime. Grabbed some coffee at the Quick Mart and found the talk radio. The callers are angry, they say they're forgotten. Though my reasons are different, it's a feeling I know. How can I make it without you? How can I live in this world on my own? Did you really think I would doubt you? Did you really leave? Did you really leave me alone? Route 80 PA seems to stretch on for days. I count off the small towns and miles. Water Gap into Jersey and the suburban haze. But the New York City sky that deciphers our eyes. Hoboken, New Jersey, it's 6 p.m. Thursday. Parked the car by the ferry and I boarded that boat. Halfway across the Hudson, took a box from my backpack. I shook out your ashes, watched you blow off and float. How am I living without you? And why am I here in this world on my own? No choice but to go on without you. But how could you leave? How could you leave? How could you leave me alone? Thank you.
I think Terry's right.
I had a lady cry at that song, and then she came up to me and she was asking me, like, what was the story behind it, and she'd gone through a similar thing, and I didn't really have the heart to tell her. Like I'd kind of like put bits and pieces of things together and really just made it up. And so I said, "Tell me your story," and it was very touching. So, but I felt a little bad, Alex. I'm not going to lie. I felt a little bad. We each have a song left.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I know. Time flies when you're having fun.
Well, now I don't know what to play. I'll do this one. This song's called Hourglass, and it's just you go to all these little songwriter events and camps and schools, and you meet a lot of great writers, and it's mostly, you know, a lot of people with a really a lot of great ideas. And this is how this song came up. I got an email from a lady who attended a songwriting workshop that I was at, and she said, this girl that I work with, she came in, told me this story about she overheard one of her other friends talking about how she could never get somewhere in the middle with the relationship that she was in. It was always one way and then the other way, and you just kind of had to wait until it was done. And she said it's kind of like drowning in a big hourglass. You just have to wait for it. And I was like, thanks, Donna. And I just ran with it. But I gave her co-writing credit, and she was like, you didn't have to give me co-writing credit. I was like, absolutely. It's a great idea. And your ear was there at the right time. So I wrote this song with her help, and it's on the first record. You can find it streaming wherever, and it's on YouTube and all sorts of other places that we make lots of pennies and nickels from.
Micro pennies.
Yeah.
0.000.
Yeah. Get that check for $1.10 every year. It's called Hourglass. I know sometimes you feel you give too much. Here I go again and take like it's not enough. In a moment, you'll feel empty, like you got nothing left to give. You feel it slipping and getting harder to see. Who thought I was, who I said I'd be. And as I'm buried in everything you're giving me, it's getting harder to breathe. When we're lost at our tight ends of the hourglass, fearing everything we give, we'll never get it back. And here we go again and waste some time we can't afford to lose. Well, give me a minute, I can turn it around, give it back to you. If I could give it all back at once, it might hold you down and never let you up. I find it's the giving, piece by piece, that make up the little things. When we're lost at our tight ends of the hourglass, fearing everything we give, we'll never get it back. Here we go again and waste some time we can't afford to lose. Give me a minute, I can turn it around, give it back. We might sit here for a while, collecting dust as we stay mad for a little while. Longer than the time before, when you feel empty, trust I am full. Here I come to turn it around and give it back. We're lost at odds at ends of the hourglass, fearing everything we give will never get it back. And here we go again and waste some time we can't afford to lose. Well, give me a minute, I can turn it around, give it back to you. Well, give me just a minute, I can turn it around, give it back to you. Give me a minute, I'll turn it around, give it back to you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's a beautiful tune. Man. Well, I want to thank you for being my guest this week.
I want to thank you for having me.
And I know we're in Texas competing against football on Sunday, so it's a little rough. But South by Southwest, yeah. Okay, this weekend there's South by Southwest. There's Kerrville Folk Festival is having their delayed thing, right? Songwriter Serenade was this weekend too. So those are two big folk music things. And yeah, on South by, not South by, ACL, that's it. Yeah, ACL. So there's all this stuff going on. And here we are. So thank you guys who were here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for you people online who have been listening and commenting. And please check out Alex's website because there's great stuff there. And you're going to be recording soon?
Yes. Yeah,
you have an album out? You have an EP album?
I have one record out right now. Released it 3 years ago now.
And what's it called?
Just self-titled.
Cool.
Just Alex Coba.
Alex Coba makes it easy to find.
Yep.
And
I can't come up with names for records. It's hard enough coming up with a name for a song, but I don't know. I kicked around some ideas for the first one. I think they're all just going to say my name on them. I don't know. I'm not.
Oh, you could be like, who did that with their albums? Peter Gabriel. He just kept naming them, and then his fans kind of named them like 1, 2, 3, 4. And stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it, right? Just put 2 at the bottom of it.
Well, this being my son Tyler's birthday, he had commented. That's why I was texting before. He had commented on something, and I said, this next song's for you, because he got married a couple weeks ago, and I sang this at his wedding for him and his lovely bride, Babette. They just had this like ridiculously beautiful little wedding with just 7 people on the water at sunset in Broad Channel, which is like kind of almost out into the New York harbor. It's just beautiful. And her mom had a little houseboat, and we were all in the back, and they decorated it all. It was like ridiculous. It was gorgeous. The sunset, and then these 2 swans came up while they were doing their vows, like right behind them. I mean, like, I'm not lying. This happened. And I sang this song with my daughter Jen, who's actually doing a performance, I think, or did yesterday at South by, as part of a group that she's in, and not South by, at ACL. So anyway, this is called Sweet and Sheltered Sleep. Love's an endless journey that we navigate by heart. Sometimes our senses fail us. Then we go by faith that we won't fall or drown or split apart. We hoist our tattered sails up. I would circle around this earth and wrestle the demons of the deep, just to lay down at your side in love's sweet and sheltered sleep. In love's sweet and sheltered sleep. Life can be a distance race that we are running, deaf and blind without much sense or reason. Feeling out the ruts and holes and trying not to lag behind. We push on with the seasons. I would crawl down that endless road, bare scraped hands and bloody knees, just to lay down at your side in love's sweet and sheltered sleep. In love's sweet sheltered sleep. I would live out my life alone if at the end our eyes could meet. Then you pull me close to lie in love's sweet and sheltered sleep. In love's sweet and sheltered sleep. Thank you, guys.
Claudia Gibson, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex Coba, for being my guest. Woo, it's great.
Thank you for having me. I
Awesome.
appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And we will see you next month with first Sunday in November, I guess, with Chris Taylor from San Antonio. So, yeah, it'll be awesome. So thank you, everyone. So long. Thanks. You can end the broadcast, Robert.